Good morning. Before you take another sip of your coffee and rush into your daily routine, I need you to pause and listen closely. What I am about to share with you today has the potential to fundamentally change the way you walk, the way you move, and how independently you live for the rest of your life. If you bring up leg weakness to most mainstream doctors, they will likely hand you a generic pamphlet about calcium, tell you to watch your step, and call it a day. But right now, we are going to dive into a critical conversation that modern medicine almost completely ignores. There are specific foods that, when eaten strategically in the morning, can actually stop and even reverse the silent muscle loss happening in your legs at this very moment. And yes, I specifically use the word reverse, because no matter your age, it is not too late. I'm Dr. Ethan Caldwell, and welcome to Healthspan Lab. Over the years, I've worked with countless patients who were convinced that their growing weakness, their physical instability, their struggle to climb a flight of stairs, or the immense effort it took just to stand up from a deep chair were all inevitable parts of getting older. Let me be clear, that is one of the most dangerous, paralyzing lies we've ever been sold, and today, we are dismantling it entirely. Did you know that eating just one simple, specific food before 8 a.m. could effectively slow the aging of your leg muscles by nearly a decade? I am not talking about a pharmaceutical drug, and I'm certainly not talking about overpriced supplements. I am referring to basic, familiar, everyday foods that almost everyone already has in their kitchen. Yet, millions of people completely overlook these exact foods every single morning, completely unaware of the damage they are doing by skipping them. Before we dive into the science, I would love to know who is joining us today. I read every single comment on this channel, so before we go any further, drop a comment below and tell me, how old are you, and what is the one physical activity you absolutely refuse to give up no matter what? Whether that's walking your dog, dancing with your grandchildren, or spending hours tending to your garden, let me know. Your answers matter to me, and they shape the content we create here. Together, let's build a healthier, stronger tomorrow. Let's look at the data. Cutting-edge research reveals that adding just a single strategic food to your morning routine may help adults over the age of 60 preserve crucial leg strength, significantly improve physical stability, eliminate agonizing nighttime leg cramps, and even slash the risk of age-related muscle loss by a staggering 72%. Right now, millions of older adults are quietly losing their mobility. They are ending up in wheelchairs, permanently relying on walkers, and losing their independence, largely because of this silent condition. The heartbreaking truth is that most of them have no idea these restorative foods even exist. Worse yet, many seniors are unintentionally accelerating this muscle loss by eating the absolute wrong things first thing in the morning. So, ask yourself, could you be systematically weakening your own legs every morning simply because you're skipping the right nutrients? Keep watching until the very end of this video. I am going to show you exactly what to eat the moment you wake up, and I will break down 5 incredibly simple breakfast protocols that can help you stay remarkably strong, balanced, and fiercely independent well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond. And pay close attention to that last item. It is an unusual approach that might genuinely surprise you. Feeling your legs grow heavier and weaker day by day is not a reality you have to simply accept. Crossing the threshold of 60 does not mean you have to forfeit your ability to walk with confidence, maintain your balance, or live on your own terms. The incredible news is that you can actively reverse this physiological decline. And the best part, it doesn't require prescription medications, you don't need to buy pricey specialized equipment, and you don't have to endure grueling, intense workouts. It all begins with something small, yet profoundly powerful. Your very first meal of the day. It sounds almost too simple, but eating the right breakfast can serve as a shield for your legs, while eating the wrong one will quietly wear them down. This is the exact phenomenon that has top aging and nutrition experts so deeply concerned today. The vast majority of adults over 60 get breakfast completely wrong. They skip it entirely, they replace a real meal with a cup of black coffee, or they rely on nutrient-hollow foods like toast made from refined white bread. Even worse are those who say, "I'm just not hungry, I'll eat later and just sip on some water for now." Do you know what happens inside your body when you do that? Your body enters what is known as a catabolic state. Because it needs energy and you haven't provided any, it begins cannibalizing its own muscle tissue for fuel. And do you know which muscles the body targets first? Your leg muscles. It breaks down the very foundation that allows you to walk, stand upright, maintain your balance, and prevent catastrophic falls. A landmark study out of Tufts University demonstrated that seniors could recover up to 35% of their lost leg strength in just 8 weeks, simply by eating a highly nutritious breakfast formulated with the right specific ingredients. And you don't need a massive grocery budget to achieve this. These foods are incredibly affordable and universally available. You've probably walked past them in the grocery store 1,000 times. The secret lies in combining them and timing them correctly. In just a moment, I am going to walk you through 5 simple, scientifically validated morning meals that are proven to lock in your leg muscle, rebuild your balance, eradicate painful cramping, and restore your baseline strength before it fades away permanently. And as promised, at the end of this video, I'll reveal an unusual food combination that has helped hundreds of seniors regain their mobility with just a tiny morning serving. If you are currently under the impression that lost muscle is gone forever, stay with me. You're going to view your body very differently by the time this video is over. Here is the biological reality. Once you pass the age of 60, your body naturally begins shedding muscle mass, and this aggressively targets the lower body. This clinical condition is known as sarcopenia, and it is a leading driver of mobility loss. It's why people suddenly struggle to walk long distances, why it takes maximum effort to push up out of a chair, why they lose their balance, and why they ultimately end up needing canes, walkers, or 24-hour care. But here is the most concerning aspect of sarcopenia. Muscle loss doesn't physically hurt. It doesn't trigger a fever. There are no flashing warning signs. It sneaks up on you in absolute silence. One day, your legs just feel a little heavier than usual. A few weeks later, you might stumble slightly while stepping off a street curb. You brush it off, telling yourself, well, I'm just getting older. You start relying heavily on your arms and shoulders to push yourself up from the sofa. But you are misdiagnosing the problem. Aging itself isn't making your legs buckle. The sheer loss of muscle tissue is. The National Institute on Aging has issued stark warnings, noting that adults over 60 can lose up to 13% of their total leg muscle mass in a single decade if they take no preventative action. And please understand, this is not just about physical strength or looking toned. When your leg muscles shrink, a catastrophic chain reaction begins. Your center of balance drastically worsens, your walking stride and speed plummet, your risk of suffering a severe fall skyrockets, your overall blood circulation declines. As your mobility shrinks, visceral belly fat tends to accumulate. Your bone density drops, leaving you vulnerable to fractures. Even the quality of your sleep and your cognitive memory begin to suffer. The psychological and emotional toll of feeling trapped inside a body that refuses to cooperate can be absolutely devastating. So, why is the morning window so incredibly critical? Think about it. After 7 to 9 hours of sleep, your body is in a deeply fasted state. If you don't break that fast by eating, your body instinctively taps into your muscle tissue for the fuel it needs to function. For a senior whose baseline muscle regeneration is already functioning at a slower rate, this is highly dangerous. If you fail to halt this catabolic phase with a structurally sound breakfast, your leg muscles are actively weakening before you've even started your day. Because your legs house the largest muscle groups in your entire human anatomy, losing them wreaks havoc on your metabolic rate. It heavily reduces blood circulation to your extremities, which triggers that familiar cascade of misery, painful cramps, chronic tingling, numbness, shaky and unsteady steps, and a terrifying loss of physical coordination. This is exactly why so many older adults who have no underlying diseases still end up frail and dependent as the years go by. But here's the empowering news. Your body still possesses the profound ability to recover if you intervene early enough. By delivering the exact right foods at the exact right time, you can halt the breakdown, rebuild muscle tissue, solidify your balance, banish cramps, and reclaim your independence step by step. So, let's get specific. I'm about to reveal the exact foods that clinical researchers consider the ultimate natural allies for your leg muscles. Consider the story of David. David is a 6'9" retired construction engineer. During his career, he spent his days climbing scaffolding and his weekends hiking steep trails across the country without a second thought. But recently, simply getting out of bed had become a massive struggle. His knees felt permanently stiff. His feet felt like heavy, numb blocks of wood. His first dozen steps every morning were excruciatingly slow and unstable, as if he were trying to operate a rusted piece of machinery. Then came the wake-up call. One morning, David tripped over a small porch step while walking out to grab the newspaper. Thankfully, the fall didn't break any bones, but it deeply terrified him. Lying on the ground, he realized he was losing something far more important than his balance. He was losing his confidence. His wife had been noticing the decline too. She saw how his walking pace had slowed to a shaky shuffle. She watched him awkwardly rely on both hands to launch himself off the living room couch. He eventually stopped going on the morning strolls they used to love. And then the agonizing, sleep-destroying nightly leg cramps began. Here's the catch. David didn't have a severe illness. He didn't have diabetes. He didn't even have severe arthritis. What David was experiencing is what many clinicians quietly refer to as the after 6-0 phase, the window where sarcopenia accelerates rapidly, silently dismantling the very leg muscles designed to bear your weight and stabilize your movement. Determined not to end up in a wheelchair, David sought answers. He consulted with a clinical nutritionist, pored over medical articles, and watched specialized health content. That is when he stumbled upon a biological truth he had never once considered. The absolute strength of your legs is heavily dictated by what you put into your body within the first hour of waking up. David completely overhauled his routine. He stopped skipping breakfast. He banished the habit of drinking black coffee on an empty catabolic stomach. Instead, he began eating meals specifically packed with the dense nutrients his starving leg muscles desperately needed to kickstart circulation, rebuild torn tissue, and recalibrate his balance. The turnaround was astonishing. Within just 3 weeks, David noticed a profound difference. Pushing up out of a chair suddenly felt fluid and easy. His daily steps felt lighter. Those agonizing midnight cramps completely vanished. Soon after, he was back to navigating his local park. Fast forward to the 2-month mark, and David was effortlessly walking about 1.2 miles, 2 kilometers, every single morning without needing to stop for a break. He now looks at his wife and says, "I feel like I finally got my legs back." With just one highly strategic nutritional adjustment in the morning and absolutely zero prescription drugs or physical therapy, David reclaimed his strength, his youthful energy, and his independence at age 69. Most people think reversing the clock like that is scientifically impossible, but it isn't. You don't need luck. You just need the correct metabolic start to your day. Let's break down the 5 powerful breakfast foods that completely transformed David's life and the lives of thousands of other seniors. Number 1, whole eggs. When it comes to efficiently rebuilding leg muscle, there is almost nothing easier to prepare or more biologically effective than a cooked egg. Eggs are a perfect protein, containing virtually every essential amino acid your body requires for structural muscle repair. But the true magic lies in the yolk, the part people used to throw away. The yolk is an absolute powerhouse, loaded with vitamin D, vitamin B12, choline, and a highly critical amino acid called leucine. Leucine acts like a biological ignition switch. It directly triggers a process called muscle protein synthesis. If you want to stop leg muscle loss dead in its tracks after age 60, leucine is non-negotiable. In fact, clinical research from the University of Illinois demonstrated that seniors who consumed just 2 whole eggs daily over an 8-week period experienced highly notable, measurable improvements in both sheer leg strength and functional independence. But the benefits don't stop at the muscle tissue itself. Eggs deeply support your neuromuscular system. The vitamin B12 found exclusively in the yolk actively protects the myelin sheath, the protective coating around your nerves. By enhancing the electrical communication between your brain and your leg muscles, your physical coordination improves, your gait normalizes, and your steps become vastly smoother and steadier, drastically dropping your risk of a fall. Additionally, eggs provide highly bioavailable iron, which forces a rush of oxygen-rich blood flow straight down into your aging leg muscles, an area where older adults chronically lack circulation. For the absolute best results, eat the entire egg yolk and all within 1 hour of waking up. Hard-boiled eggs are fantastic because they lock in all the core nutrients without requiring cooking oils. If you want variety, scramble them with a handful of spinach or diced tomatoes. These vegetables add crucial antioxidants and magnesium, which further shield your lower body muscles from oxidative stress. Think of that morning egg not just as food, but as your daily armored defense against silent muscle decline. Stick to this routine for 30 days, and you will likely notice the difference. Far fewer cramps, grounded and solid legs, and a new ease when standing up unassisted. Number 2, Oatmeal paired with chia seeds. If eggs are the structural building blocks, a simple bowl of oatmeal topped with chia seeds is the premium, long-lasting fuel that keeps your legs powerful all morning long. This incredibly modest meal is actually a sophisticated tool for seniors fighting sarcopenia and poor circulation. Oats are famously rich in beta-glucan, a highly specialized soluble fiber. Beta-glucan aggressively drives down systemic inflammation, vastly improves how efficiently your leg muscles absorb circulating nutrients, and beautifully stabilizes your blood sugar. Blood sugar stability is vital for adults over 60, as metabolic rates naturally slow down and insulin resistance begins to creep in. But the real magic happens when you stir in chia seeds. Chia seeds deliver a massive payload of omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, potassium, and magnesium. This specific mineral matrix is exactly what your body demands to maintain smooth, coordinated muscle contractions, ensure rapid nerve signaling, and block those horrific nighttime leg cramps that destroy your sleep. The magnesium in the chia acts as a natural muscle relaxant, unwinding tight, rigid leg fibers. Meanwhile, the potassium supports your baseline electrolyte balance, ensuring that life-giving oxygen and nutrients are successfully pumped deep into the smallest, most distal muscles of your feet and calves. Preparing this is effortless. Gently cook 3 tablespoons of standard rolled oats in hot water or your favorite unsweetened nut milk until they reach a soft consistency. Stir in 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. If you want a touch of natural sweetness and extra antioxidants, toss in a few slices of banana or a handful of fresh blueberries. By eating this warm, comforting bowl within an hour of waking, you are setting up your legs for maximum endurance. You'll find yourself standing stronger, climbing stairs with better balance, and significantly outlasting the physical fatigue that usually hits by midday. When those nighttime cramps finally stop, you'll know your muscles are fully saturated with the nutrients they've been begging for. Number 3, bananas. There is a very scientifically sound reason bananas are universally referred to as nature's electrolyte powerhouse. They are heavily armed with potassium. A medium banana delivers roughly 400 milligrams, which is about 10% of your total daily requirement. Why does potassium matter for your legs? Potassium regulates the delicate electrical balance across your muscle cell membranes. This electrical gradient is what allows your leg muscles to flex and release smoothly. When your potassium levels drop, your muscles begin to mechanically misfire. They twitch, they lock up, and they spasm uncontrollably. This is the root cause of the restless twitching and severe cramping so many older adults suffer from while trying to relax in the evening, especially those who have poor mineral absorption or who are taking prescription diuretic medications for blood pressure. A massive observational study out of Harvard University found that seniors who consistently consumed adequate bananas were 33% less likely to suffer from chronic leg cramps compared to those who failed to hit their potassium markers. Beyond potassium, bananas are rich in vitamin B6, another crucial nutrient that optimizes the nerve communication pathways, traveling from your brain down into your legs, keeping your walking mechanics highly coordinated. Now, a word of medical caution. Not everyone should eat bananas with reckless abandon. If you are currently managing type 2 diabetes, struggle with severe blood sugar volatility, or suffer from kidney disease, you must be careful. Excess potassium can interfere with certain kidney conditions and heart rhythms, and the sugar can spike glucose levels. If this applies to you, simply opt for a smaller, slightly green, underripe banana. Underripe bananas are lower in free sugars and much higher in resistant starch, which digests slowly and keeps your blood glucose beautifully stable. To maximize the benefit, don't eat a banana entirely on an empty stomach. Enjoy it immediately following your breakfast or slice it directly into your oatmeal or yogurt. This slows absorption and pairs the potassium with protein. For the vast majority of healthy seniors, just one small banana strategically timed in the morning is a massive biological shield for your legs. Number 4, Greek yogurt. When it comes to halting the vicious cycle of muscle breakdown that happens while you sleep, Greek yogurt is arguably one of the most effective interventions on the planet. This is not the sugary, watery yogurt heavily marketed to kids. Genuine, triple-strained Greek yogurt has nearly twice the protein of regular yogurt, yielding a dense, rich texture. For adults navigating their 60s and beyond, the magic in Greek yogurt lies in a specific protein called casein. Casein digests incredibly slowly, When you eat it in the morning, it drips a steady, continuous stream of muscle-repairing amino acids into your bloodstream for hours. This permanently shuts down the morning catabolic state. Remember, age-related hormonal shifts make it harder for seniors to rebuild tissue. If you don't aggressively supply protein upon waking, your under-circulated vulnerable leg muscles will continue to literally waste away. A standard 6-ounce, roughly 170 gram, serving of high-quality Greek yogurt provides an impressive 17 grams of premium protein. More importantly, it is densely packed with leucine, that vital trigger for muscle synthesis we talked about earlier. It also floods your system with highly bioavailable calcium and vitamin D, physically reinforcing your bone density while improving the neuromuscular coordination that keeps your walking stride efficient. Furthermore, Greek yogurt is a fermented food, meaning it is rich in living probiotics. A healthy gut microbiome drastically improves your body's ability to extract and absorb nutrients from everything else you eat, while actively lowering systemic inflammation that restricts leg circulation. Researchers at Maastricht University in the Netherlands conducted a fascinating study. They discovered that older adults who consume just 20 grams of high-quality protein every single morning, combined with just mild daily movement, exhibited highly notable improvements in absolute leg strength in a mere 6 weeks. They also reported far fewer night cramps and a significant upgrade in their standing balance. If you happen to have a sensitive digestive system or suffer from lactose intolerance, do not worry. You can easily opt for a lactose-free Greek yogurt or seek out traditional yogurts crafted from sheep or goat's milk, which are historically much easier on human digestion. Just promise me one thing: strictly avoid any yogurt loaded with added artificial sugars or fruit syrups. Sugar drives massive bodily inflammation, severely impairs your muscle tissue's ability to heal, and wreaks havoc on your blood sugar. Enjoy your Greek yogurt within an hour of waking, or immediately after a light morning stretch. Toss in some unsweetened berries, a heavy dash of cinnamon, or those chia seeds we mentioned, and you have a phenomenal, delicious, and highly protective morning meal. Number 5. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, and sardines. I know having fish for breakfast might sound unconventional to the modern American palate, but this is a nutritional secret you cannot afford to ignore. Committing to eating fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, mackerel, or sardines at least twice a week for breakfast is a masterclass strategy for regenerating aging leg muscles. These specific fish are the world's premier sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically the powerhouses known as EPA and DHA. These fatty acids perform medical miracles in the aging body. They drastically enhance your cellular insulin sensitivity, they extinguish the smoldering systemic inflammation that eats away at your joints and muscles, and they vastly upgrade your body's ability to pull protein out of your bloodstream and weave it into new muscle tissue. When you combine these effects, it allows an older adult to fiercely protect their lower body strength and essentially put the brakes on natural muscle wasting. The data on this is astounding. A major clinical analysis published in the prestigious American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that adults over the age of 65 who ate just 2 weekly servings of fatty fish retained a shocking 27% more sheer leg muscle mass compared to seniors who only ate red meat or skipped fish entirely. But it didn't end there. The fish-eating group showcased measurably better walking mechanics, superior physical balance, and enjoyed a 36% lower risk of suffering a dangerous fall caused by leg weakness. The omega-3s act like a biological fire extinguisher, putting out the chronic, low-grade inflammation that silently saps your strength over the decades. On top of the fats, a standard 5-ounce 100 gram cooked portion of salmon delivers a massive 20 grams of highly digestible protein, alongside major doses of vitamin D and vitamin B12 to keep those nerve pathways firing perfectly. Preparing this is fast and simple. Take a fresh piece of salmon, pan-sear it in a splash of high-quality extra virgin olive oil for just 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Pair it with a side of steamed vegetables, a few slices of avocado, or a roasted sweet potato, and you have a world-class, muscle-fortifying meal. If cooking fresh fish in the morning is too much of a hurdle, high-quality smoked salmon is a fantastic alternative. And while obtaining these nutrients from whole foods is always superior, a premium clinical-grade fish oil supplement can bridge the gap if necessary. A quick warning: if you are a senior dealing with fat malabsorption issues, a fatty liver diagnosis, or strict cholesterol management protocols, Timing is important. Try to eat your fish earlier in the morning on a mostly empty stomach to aid digestion. Stick to baked or gently steamed preparations rather than pan frying. Keep your portions modest, and consult your doctor to see if a simple digestive enzyme might assist you. Fatty fish does more than build muscle. It acts as a premium, natural lubricant for your entire lower body, ensuring your leg muscles remain supple, highly resilient, and primed for daily recovery. The bonus breakfast strategy: sweet potatoes with Celtic sea salt. Now, I want to share that unusual, surprising breakfast protocol I promised you at the beginning. It is breathtakingly simple, yet it offers some of the most profound benefits for aging legs I have ever seen in clinical practice. The protocol: a serving of warm, steamed sweet potatoes lightly dusted with natural, unrefined mineral salt. Forget the expensive, trendy superfood powders. This humble kitchen staple does heavy lifting for your mobility. Sweet potatoes are a supreme source of dense, complex carbohydrates. Why does that matter? Because after fasting all night, your muscle glycogen stores are depleted. The unique starch structure in sweet potatoes replenishes those fuel stores beautifully without violently spiking your blood sugar. This steady, sustained release of glucose completely eradicates morning leg fatigue, stops trembling weakness, and provides the baseline energy required to prevent cramps. Furthermore, sweet potatoes are naturally loaded with potassium, manganese, vitamin C, and that ultimate muscle-relaxing mineral, magnesium. But the real secret to this protocol is the salt. I am not talking about heavily processed, chemically bleached table salt. I am talking about authentic, unrefined Celtic sea salt. Real Celtic salt is entirely unprocessed and naturally retains over 80 vital trace minerals. Because of its complex mineral profile, it actively facilitates smooth, flawless muscle contractions and rapidly restores your deeply depleted morning electrolytes. And because it operates differently in the body than stripped table salt, it achieves all this without drastically spiking your blood pressure. A fascinating longitudinal study conducted by the French Institute of Mineral Nutrition followed older adults who regularly consumed high-fiber breakfasts, precisely like sweet potatoes enhanced with mineral-rich salt. After 90 days on this protocol, the participants demonstrated a 41% improvement in their clinical balance scores and suffered nearly 50% fewer falls. Executing this is incredibly easy. About 10 minutes before you sit down for your main breakfast, take half of a warm, freshly steamed sweet potato, sprinkle a very modest pinch of genuine Celtic sea salt over the top, and eat it alongside a tall glass of warm water. Doing this with absolute consistency can rapidly dial back the numbness, eradicate the morning cramps, and eliminate that terrifying shakiness you feel when you first stand up. It acts as an invisible but incredibly powerful support system, allowing seniors to move through their day with absolute confidence and independence. The 5 essential morning habits for leg health. Fixing your morning nutrition is the cornerstone of this process. But if you want to truly bulletproof your legs, you must pair that nutrition with specific daily routines. Here are 5 incredibly simple morning habits that yield massive returns for your balance and leg strength. Habit number 1. The very first thing you do upon waking is drink a glass of warm water mixed with a tiny pinch of natural mineral salt. Before coffee, before tea, this immediately restores your hydration, floods your body with electrolytes, heavily boosts peripheral circulation down to your toes, calms your central nervous system, and creates a hostile environment for cramps. Habit number 2. Dedicate exactly 3 minutes to a simple leg lift and balance drill. Stand near a wall or a sturdy chair. Slowly lift one foot just 2 to 4 inches off the floor. Hold that position with total control for 10 seconds, then slowly lower it and switch to the other side. This hyper-targets and strengthens the micro-muscles in your calves, the stabilizing muscles in your thighs, and the deep rotators in your hips, massively upgrading your total body balance. Habit number 3. Stop launching yourself out of bed like an alarm went off. When you wake up, lie there for a moment. Take 3 deep, diaphragmatic breaths. Sit up on the edge of the bed very slowly. Then, deliberately rotate your wrists and your ankles in gentle circles for a few seconds. This safely and effectively reactivates your dormant blood circulation and severely reduces the morning dizziness and sudden blood pressure drops that cause devastating falls. Habit number 4. Step outside and get just 5 minutes of direct morning sunlight on your skin. That early sun exposure kickstarts your body's natural vitamin D production pipeline. Vitamin D is essential for locking calcium into your bones, particularly reinforcing the highly vulnerable joints in your wrists and your ankles. Habit number 5, never ever delay your breakfast. Remember the catabolic state? The longer you push off eating, the more muscle tissue your body destroys for fuel. Even if you don't have the time or appetite for a massive meal, forcing yourself to eat a small portion, just half a steamed sweet potato, a single hard-boiled egg, or a few bites of oatmeal is enough to flip the metabolic switch from muscle destruction to muscle repair. By aggressively combining these 5 daily habits with the nutritional powerhouses we discussed today, the oatmeal with chia, the strategic bananas, the Greek yogurt, the fatty salmon, and the mineral salted sweet potatoes, you are giving your legs exactly what they need to thrive. You will noticeably improve your functional leg strength, upgrade your circulation, solidify your balance, and actively halt the devastation of age-related sarcopenia. It is the small, disciplined actions you take every single morning that ultimately dictate your long-term mobility, your physical stability, and your right to live independently. Taking control of your biology on a daily basis means you get to dictate the terms of your aging process. You get to maintain your confidence. You get to enjoy your life to the absolute fullest. Your legs do not have to buckle and surrender to time, provided you give them the precise nutrition and the structural routines they are begging for. Sharing these specific breakfast protocols and daily habits with your friends and family might literally be the intervention that saves someone you love from a life-altering fall. Staying highly informed, embracing nutrient-dense whole foods, and flawlessly executing these habits will ensure that walking with absolute confidence, maintaining perfect balance, and living an active, vibrant life remains completely achievable long after your 60th birthday. If the deep dive we took in today's video provided you with genuine value, I want to ask you to do 3 quick things before you go. First, hit that subscribe button right now to join Healthspan Lab if you haven't already. I engineer and release videos exactly like this one every single week, built specifically to arm you with the science you need to take total control of your health. Second, click the like button. Doing so signals to the YouTube algorithm that this is valuable, life-saving information, and it will share this video with other older adults who desperately need to hear this message. And third, scroll down and leave me a comment answering these 2 questions. Which of these 5 morning foods are you going to add to your routine first? And what is the one physical activity you are most fiercely motivated to protect? I read every single comment, and your answers directly help me decide what critical health topics we will cover next. As always, the peer-reviewed scientific references for every single study and clinical claim discussed in today's video are fully linked in the description box below. Take care of your legs, take care of your independence. I'm Dr. Ethan Caldwell, and I will see you in the next video.